All right. So, I think the politics is driving us all fucking insane. So I think, for a moment, we'll see how long it lasts. For at least today, we're going to get away from politics. Now, what are we going to do? Right? Well, I do a socio-political comedy show. Whenever people ask me, oh, what do you do on YouTube? I say, ugh, I do a socio-political comedy channel. Right? Hoping that most people will pretend like they know what that means and just go, oh, it's cool. And not really care to continue the conversation. But every once in a while, you get people that go, what is that? And you go, it's society and politics. I laugh about it. Like, that's it. And then I try to just go with that explanation, and usually that one is the one where they go, oh, okay. And then we just continue on with shit, right? Nobody has really grilled me, and really decided now it's time to interview you about things after finding all of that out. Usually people want to avoid the discussion whenever you say the word politics in it. Nevertheless, so, society. What's going on in society right now? Well, I feel I should probably come clean about something. I haven't been entirely truthful with you guys, and I should probably come clean with it. I have been keeping it a secret that I have been playing Cyberpunk 2077. I know. I said I'd never play that fucking game. It looks stupid. It's awful. It's broken. Doesn't even look like the trailer. I said all those things. And I know. But I've been playing the game, right? And so today, I was taking a shit at work, and I just Googled Cyberpunk just to see what would come up. Oh boy, was I happy when I found out this one. This is from VG247. I don't know what the fuck that is, but Vagina 24/7 is the only thing I can really imagine from the context of the article. It's called Cyberpunk 2077's attitudes towards women are more 1997 than 2077. It's by Stacey Henley. Now, the first point about the title, because I graduated in 98, and I don't get the whole 1997 thing. Like, women were treated pretty damn well in the 90s. Okay, whatever. Perhaps she's a youngin' and didn't exactly exist in that point of time, and so she's just going off of what everybody told her, like you do when you're a millennial. Alright, ready? Here we go. Cyberpunk 2077's presentation of women reminds us gaming still has blind spots for representation. Now, I don't agree with this statement at all. Women are extremely well represented in this game. They're fucking everywhere. You always run into women gang members. They're in every gang. You always run into women that are, important characters. Like, I think at least half of the fixers are women, if not more than half. I mean, there's a lot of women in this game. A lot of your jobs you're getting from women. Women are very powerful in this game. They have very big, important roles. They're very well represented. I don't get this. But whatever. We got huge blind spots for representation. Cyberpunk 2077's best characters are women. Honestly, I'd say that's... No, actually, I gotta agree with that. Best characters are women. Pan Am Palmer and Judy Alvarez are head and shoulders above the rest of the cast. Now look, Judy's my girl. Like, literally, she's my output. I love that girl. I actually have, like, for real world, real feelings for Judy. I actually love her to death. I think she's a wonderful person. Pan Am, however, no wonder you think Pan Am, you list her as best fucking character in the game. No wonder. You want to know why? Because Pan Am Palmer is that caricature of a strong woman that every feminist looks to. I've defined it before. Cunty failure. It's what they all look up to. Cunty failures. Pan Am, without you, would have been dead in her first fucking mission. You are constantly pulling Pan Am's dumb fucking ass out of the fire. And she's a arrogant cunt about it. She's an absolute arrogant cunt about it. Through the whole game, she has zero character development. She starts an angry cunt, and she winds up slightly less angry cunt. That's her fucking character arc. Now, I haven't beaten the game with Pan Am. The Pan Am, I haven't finished it yet because I'm stuck at the stupid shooting thing. Nevertheless, I don't even know but if there is an actual downside to her arc, like if it's not just a straight fucking line, if there actually is an arc involved, you have to wait till the end of the fucking game to find it, and you have to choose her. There's a reason why I haven't finished her storyline yet. I don't like her. She's a cunt. I don't like her. So I don't ever ask her to help me in my final hours because I don't trust her. Because she's a cunty failure, and the only reason she ever succeeds is because I pull it off. So if I'm going to go with her, I might as well go by myself. And that's what I'm working on right now, as opposed to finishing the Pan Am ending. I'm working on doing it solo. Because I think it would be more rewarding. So anyways, that doesn't surprise me. Figures. But Judy's a peach. I love Judy. I love her to death. Rogue and Claire kick ass. Rogue kicks ass. Claire is the bartender who gets you involved in death race style racing matches, right? You are the driver, you're the driver, you drive. And then she is the gunner. Claire's the gunner. Claire hangs out the window and shoots at the other cars to try and slow them down so that you can get past, right? That's the whole thing. Now, the reason why Claire wants you to drive for her is because her husband was killed in one of these races while racing by another guy who is a racer. She blames him for this. Now, mind you, we do 4 races together. 3 to qualify, and then the big race wherein you either kill this dude or not. Right? You find out when you get into the last race, or through the course of the 4 races, this bitch has been shooting at other people trying to kill them. Just pointing that out. I just want to point that out. It's kind of the point of the race. During the fucking intro to the 4th race, you find out that this bitch is on a vengeance kick. Not because this dude did something wrong. Not because her husband was wrongly murdered in some nefarious way. But because they were racing and shooting at each other while doing it, and her husband died. But she blames that dude. So she gets you to help kill that dude. And it's fucking horrible and terrible and not satisfying when you get to that scene. Just throwing that out there. Like, it doesn't end. You shouldn't feel good at the end of Claire's story. You get that, right? Like, you're supposed to feel like you just did something shitty. Like, essentially, you just murdered a dude for racing the way you've been racing the whole fucking time. Like, all because Claire wants it. You get that's not supposed to be... Fucking whatever. Of course you don't get it. So I wouldn't really go as far as to say that Claire kicks ass. She actually put me in quite a moral dilemma. The purple-haired Mox and Us Cracks are the most visually interesting characters in Night City. Okay, for frame of reference, this is a picture of Mox. These are the Mox. Now, I'm going to tell you what the Mox are. The Mox is one of the gangs. They are unique in that the Mox is entirely 100% made up of women. There are no men in the mocks. They are the only gang, as far as I know, in the entirety of the fucking Cyberpunk world that is entirely mocks. There's actually a gang called the Candy Thieves. And if you play the game long enough and you look around and you pay attention to shit, you might see giant fucking graffiti that says Candy Thieves. Candy Thieves are kids. They're all children. Like 12, 13, 14-year-olds. Children that run around and do fucking edge runner jobs and shit like that. Kill people and sell drugs. And they're a legit gang. Like, they're a legit scary gang. Because they're kids. Like, right? So, there's a lot of different weird types of gangs in the world. The mocks are the only female one. I'm not even entirely sure if there's an entirely male one. There isn't one in the game. Like the video game. I don't know if there is one in the actual, like, role-playing game, but there isn't one in the video game. There is no male and only only one. And it's the girls. So, again, talking about misrepresentation or not, or being underrepresented. Here's a picture of us cracks, right? Now, the mocks and us cracks, they're interesting visually. Right? You got your soda pop fucking, you know, pop stars, right? They look very pop star-ish. You can tell they're some sort of group of some sort. They're a pop star group. It's whatever. And then you got the mocks. They're just a gang, right? They just look like gang members, you know? Like, I don't know what's so visually amazing about the mocks, really fucking at all. But here's a picture of Maelstrom. Now, these guys are what they call half-Borg, right? You know what a cyborg is, right? Cyborg is half man, half machine, part man, part machine, right? In varying degrees. Well, in Cyberpunk, you've got varying different degrees of cyberware. You can have totally unobtrusive stuff. You couldn't be able to tell that the person was chipped out at all. Or you can have people that look like this. This is a half-Borg. This here's Adam Smasher. He's a full Borg, right? Adam Smasher, if you play the game and you scan him at the one point where you can, it actually tells you that he is 96. They changed it, by the way. I don't know why, but they changed it. At some patch, they changed that. I thought that was really fucking weird. When I first started playing it, it said that he was 97% machine. This new playthrough, he's 96% machine. So he gained a percentage of human flesh somewhere, I don't know where. But it's pretty much his bald-ass fucking head, his big fat cheeks, and his nose. That's pretty much all the human there is in him. And that's pretty fucking, I don't know, that's a pretty fucking visually interesting character. Like, far more than either the mocks or us cracks. So, I don't know. And it's not even really the male part of it. It's the fact that he's mostly a machine. That's pretty fucking neat looking. Maybe it's because I'm a guy. I just think differently than this lady does. If you just look at the big picture stuff, there's so much to celebrate about the game's presentation of women. Okay. Sure, yeah, agree with that. The problem is, here we go. These examples are icing on a cake that's already been... Alright. This paragraph. I want to make sure that everybody understands before I read this paragraph. I was actually struggling as to whether or not to bother to read this paragraph. I decided I'm going to read this paragraph. Just because I have nothing to say throughout. I really have nothing to say. Honestly, I'll have nothing to say afterwards because I'm already bringing attention to the fact that I'm just reading this paragraph at all. So that alone should tell you what I think of it. The problem is, these examples are icing on a cake that's already been burnt. And not just burnt, but full of mud and rocks and blood and scorpions. A cake that's not just bad, it's nasty. Not poorly made, but designed to hurt. Instead of icing on a cake, maybe the better metaphor is clay around a C4. Doesn't make sense. Cyberpunk 2077 acts like it loves women, but Night City itself hates them. Is there any question as to why I questioned whether or not I would even bother to read that fucking paragraph? Yeah. In any game with a character creator, historical statistics show that in general, more players will choose male because more men play these major games more than any other gender. There are a plethora of reasons for this, but I'd like to park them and just, it's a fact. Men do. Alright, fine. At least for once, you guys want to acknowledge the developer argument of women don't play our games. So yeah, we make them geared towards men. Right? At least they're acknowledging that as a fact. That's actually like progress. I actually find that this lady is better than Anita Sarkeesian in at least that one aspect. She acknowledges fact. Whatever. So I always play as a woman knowing that I'm playing the game wrong. Now look, it's a video game. There really is no way to play it wrong. Even if you're playing Super Mario and you just run into the first hole every time, or the first turtle, whatever it is, you just do it over and over again. If you're being entertained by that, then you're not doing it wrong. Technically, yes. If your goal is to beat the game, you're doing it wrong. But if your goal is to sit down, play a game, be entertained, and have fun, if that entertains you, you're playing the game right to me. Right? So to say that she believes she's playing the game wrong means that I have been playing games wrong for decades. Because I, as is well known, really, if I have a choice to play as a girl, I'm going to play as a girl. The reason I give always for this is because I am a straight guy. I like looking at pretty girls. It's a fun pastime of mine, looking at pretty girls. So if I'm going to spend, I don't know, what am I up to now with Cyberpunk? Almost 400 hours, like 300 plus hours. We're getting near 350 hours probably. If I'm going to spend 300 plus hours in a game, when I look at the character model, I don't always want to see some dude staring back at me. It'd be nice to see a pretty girl. For hundreds of hours, I'd rather look at pretty girls. You know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying? So if she's playing the game wrong, then so am I. But something tells me she's not playing the game for the same fucking reason I'm playing the game for a girl. Whatever. Some games actually surprise me and feel incredibly inclusive. Most feature little winks or moments that suggest male is the default without it being too invasive. Well, here's why. It takes a very, 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 very long time to code dialogue and shit like that. So, sometimes they'll just make things ambiguous because they don't really know who's playing or which type of character they're playing. So they just make shit ambiguous. The whole game will just be ambiguous. You want to know why? Because it takes half the time that is coding two entirely different genders of dialogue and shit. You do it for time-saving purposes. They make it as innocuous as possible because they don't know if you're going to be playing as a girl or a guy. Sometimes, however, that's difficult to always do when you're writing. There are sometimes just errors. All your base R belong to us. Come on. To say that there have never been fucking errors like that in fucking gaming, dialogue and shit, Jesus fucking Christ. If you play Cyberpunk 2077, for example, and you watch the fucking the dialogue at the bottom of the screen while you're listening to them talk, it's not always the same thing. Sometimes they use different words. But they do refer to me as a girl. Because they've taken the fucking time and effort and energy to make two different sets of dialogue. To have that voice actor voice out two different sets of dialogue. Some companies are trying to do shit on the cheap. I remember when I played Kingdoms of Amalur. You could play as a male character or a female character. I, of course, played as a girl. And there were some times where I would be going through things and they would call me as a person, or they would refer to me as they or them. Because the game didn't know whether I was a he or a she, and they weren't going to take the time, effort, and money to fucking program out two different things. Because they didn't have it. They weren't a big fucking company back then. Whatever. Cyberpunk 2077 is something else entirely. In fact, it's the most aggressively masculine game I've ever played. Well, obviously you have never played Mother Gunship, because Jesus Christ, Mother Gunship is a pisser. This is reinforced right from the start. In V and Jackie's first playable mission together, you're tasked with finding Sandra Dorsett. You later find her naked, almost dead in an ice bath. In a scripted cutscene, you pull her out with her skin bluing from the cold, her nipples clearly on display as V stares into her lifeless eyes. A man in the bath with Sandra is given the dignity of underwear, but Sandra is not. Now, for some odd reason, CD Projekt Red decided that they wanted to have penises in the game, but they didn't want to program cutscenes with all manner of different penis sizes that would be connected to all different manner of penis sizes and types that you can have. All manner. You can have cut or uncut penis in small, medium, or large. You can have boobies in small, medium, or large. Right? Because there isn't cut and uncut boobies. You got boobies and boobies. Right? There's not two different visually looking boobs. There are two different visually looking dicks. So you get the wide variety. Right? Now, I have played nothing but girls. But you do get the option to choose penis, even if you play as a woman. There have been a couple of times, currently not, the current not being an exception, where I've played with a chick with a dick. Because it made me laugh to do so. The first time I did it because I wanted to see if, when I had sex with Judy, if instead of fingering her, if I would actually fuck her instead. I wanted to see if I would have a penis dangling underneath me in certain scenes. Most of all, I wanted to see that if I decided to run around with no pants on, if I could look down and there'd be my dick flipping around, right? I wanted to see what my dick looked like while I ran. Just fucking whatever. I just wanted to see how they programmed that shit. Well, how they programmed it is they didn't. You're wearing underwear. You take your pants off, you look down. If you look at your fucking inventory, there's your character, giant fucking dick, giant unclipped cock, just beautiful and luscious. There it is, right? You go into the game, you look down, you're wearing purple underwear. I don't know why they did that, but you don't see anybody else's penis. There is no point in this game where I've seen somebody else's penis. And I've had sex with River, and you didn't even see his penis, let alone mine. And the only reason I had sex with River is because I had a penis, and I wanted to see if he would touch my penis. I just wanted to know, right? But you don't even get to see his penis. It is a penis empty game. There's no penis. No penis at all. So to say this is the most masculine game she's ever played, where you don't see anybody's penis but your own, but you know everybody's got a swinging dick there? Come on. So, right? And I thought back to the times when the 4 times that I'd played that mission, and I'm like, honestly, I don't think I ever noticed whether she was wearing underwear or not. Because when you come into the room, you see her in the tub, and you can see her, her flank, because she's laying on her side, so you can see her hip and stuff, but I don't remember if she was wearing underwear or not. And then when you sit on the tub and you pick her up, obviously you don't see her from the waist down. When you pull her out of the tub, you don't see her from the waist down. When you drop her to the ground, when she starts convulsing, I don't remember if I saw her vagina or not, because she was convulsing and she was dying, and I was kind of concerned for her, and I didn't know what to do because it was a cutscene, and I wasn't getting a prompt very quickly, and I was worried for her. So I wasn't trying to see if I could see her snatch right then and there. And then when I picked her up and carried her, you didn't see her from the waist down. And then when you take her outside, and then you drop her on the, when the trauma team comes and they put out their little fucking gurney, I put her on that, and then you back away, and honestly, I don't remember if she was wearing underwear there or not. Because I was paying more attention to the trauma team guys, because she was just laying there naked. I'd already seen her naked. I wanted to see what the trauma guys were doing, because they were new and it was interesting. So, thinking back, I gotta tell you, I don't know if she was wearing underwear or not. I have no fucking clue. So I can't tell you if she's right or wrong there. So I don't know, but it wasn't something that I was looking for. I was paying attention to the game. While Sandra is the most unmissable dying naked... While Sandra is the most unmissable dying naked woman, she's far from the last. Oh, okay. She's far from the last. Throughout Night City, we see several women dead on the floor as set decoration. You also see men, often naked. Like, again, define naked, because, like, you make it sound a lot worse than because I've never seen anybody else. I've never seen anybody else's genitalia. All sorts of boobies, and you see chest, but I've never seen pussy, and I've never seen a dick. Except my own. Jesus Christ, it really is like real life. Yeah, but I already see my girlfriend's pussy. Whatever. Anyway. So, as well as many strewn across Ripperdoc tables with their bodies also naked, ripped open. Now, that is a point. Whenever it's that graphic of the woman on the table, or, the woman on the table, it's always a woman on the table, and yeah, she's split open. But there's also a graphic where it's hanging dudes. Like dudes, ripped apart, hanging. So again, kind of equal representation. Mayhaps you didn't really look around in the room, but actually in the same room with the woman, there's a hanging male corpse. So, I don't know. Again, perhaps I'm playing this game for different reasons than she is. But yeah, that is a point. It's always a woman. Yes, she is always topless, but I'm pretty sure she's always wearing pants. I don't know. Perhaps because the city of, perhaps the world of Cyberpunk 2077, women are still biologically women to the degree of they're weaker physically than men. And so it would go to, one would be led to believe that a frail-looking woman in Cyberpunk 2077 would be a hell of a lot more deceptive than a frail-looking woman nowadays in our world. In reality, let's just say that in reality, be far more deceptive because you never quite know what's exactly under her skin, and she could be fucking cyberwared out to all to hell. But still, if you're a dude and cyberwared all out to hell because you're a gang member that's kidnapping people to rip them open and steal their cyberware, well, you probably want to pick on girls more than guys because, again, kind of physically an easier target. Nevertheless, there are still dudes in all of the same scenarios that she lists here. Usually they're grouped together. It won't just be a bunch of women. It'll be women and men. Nevertheless, we don't care about that because, again, we only pay attention to the thing that we're angry about. There's dead women. She makes it sound like there's nothing but dead women, which is incorrect. That's all I'm saying. This is followed by the game's treatment of Evelyn Parker. Now here is the reason why I want to do this video. This video that is going to take me hours to edit. Who seems at first like she'll be one of the game's strongest female leads. She's cool, stylish, and confident. Even if we accept the fact that we meet her at a strip club while being given a virtual lap dance. This is fair. We then see her memories where she's scared around big, tough men, is literally called fuckable meat, and uses her wily powers of seduction to betray a man. Next time we see her, she's naked, battered, and bloody. Next time we see her after that, she's dead. Alright, then she moves on to different stuff. So let's break this fucking down. Who is Evelyn Parker? Evelyn Parker is... And I'm just gonna... Spoilers for anybody who hasn't gotten to this point. Sorry, spoilers. I kind of have to describe who fucking Evelyn is. This bitch brought her into it. Don't fucking look at me. So spoilers from here on out as far as a lot of stuff is concerned. Most of the stuff with Evelyn, but Evelyn is heavily in the main story. So, right? So, Evelyn hires Dex. Dexter Deshawn is a huge fixer. Huge legendary fixer. Dex hires you to do this job for Evelyn, right? you go, you meet Evelyn. Evelyn has a brain dance. Essentially, she has a recording of her in a place where there is something she would like for you to steal. Right? Now, why is she doing this? Who is Evelyn really? Evelyn Parker is a hooker. You can call it what you want. She certainly makes it sound like she's not a hooker, but Evelyn's essentially a hooker. She's a doll. In this world, they call her a doll. Dolls are high-class hookers. She is the best high-class hooker in Night City. That's what she is. So it's not really all that odd that you meet her at a strip club. The Mox owned territory. The Mox owned the gang of girls. They run Lizzie's, the strip club, who was started by a woman, whatever. But they run it because the big bad nasty men came in and they took over Lizzie's and were mistreating the girls. So then the Mox came in, killed all of the big bad men, and took over. Now they run the strip club so that the girls will be protected. Again, context is a big thing here. So it's not odd that you meet her at a strip club. And the fact that there's a virtual lap dance going on, that shouldn't be odd. You're in a strip club. Whatever. So she's a hooker. She's a high-class hooker. She gets approached by a gang. The Voodoo Boys. Maman Brigitte, the leader of the Voodoo Boys, she asked for Evelyn to go and make this recording inside this room where something is that Maman Brigitte wanted to steal. Right? Evelyn found out how much this is worth. So she said, well, fuck that. I'm going to steal it myself. Right? And then I'll be super, super rich and nothing will matter because fuck that, I'm gone, bitches. Right? So she did what she was asked to do by the Voodoo Boys and then cut them out. And then she went to Dex. Dex hires me. I go talk with Evelyn. As I'm leaving, what does Evelyn do? She asks me to help her cut out Dex. If we just split it together, it'll be even more money for both of us. Now, I'm thinking it's entirely possible that had things not gone sideways, that bitch would have cut my ass out too. Just saying, she isn't really the most honorable character, and her actions pretty much signed her death warrant from the get-go. The simple fact that she talked to Dex, she accepted her death sentence from the Voodoo Boys. When she asked me about cutting out Dex, she accepted her death sentence from Dex. She's lucky I'm a nice gal and I never rat on Evelyn because I have a soft spot for Evelyn because of the shit that happens to her afterwards. Now, shit goes south. Evelyn goes to Lizzie's, the Mox-controlled area, where Judy, her ex, is. Judy and the Mox are protecting Evelyn. Evelyn decides she's going to go back to her pimp because it would be safer. Evelyn is not the brightest bulb in the fucking world. She goes back to work and she gets attacked by the Voodoo Boys, who scramble the ever-loving shit out of her brain because she betrayed them. This is not a nice city. It's a really, really nasty city. People die daily in the thousands and it's all gun violence. Right? So, she betrayed a gang. A particularly nasty one. And so they fucked her up really badly. And now she's with her pimp who's looking at a broken doll. It isn't gonna make me money anymore. So what does he do? Well, of course he rapes her multiple times. And then he just sells her to a fucking street doc. who I can't say with any certainty rapes her multiple times, but it doesn't come off that he treats her very well while he's in possession of her. And so, because she's useless to him, he then sells her to the scabs. Let's take a moment to talk about the scabs. The scabs, as she never mentions in this article, are actually pretty key. There's a lot of gangs in Night City. A lot of gangs in Night City. And for the most part, the gangs are fairly well respected amongst each other. They don't like each other, but they at least kind of respect each other. There's two gangs that are not respected at all by anybody. They are a plague, plain and simple. They just feed off of others. That's all they do. They don't give a fuck. There's no code. There's no honor. There's no loyalty. They're just scum. Those two groups are the scabs and the Raff and Shiv or the race. We're not going to bother talking about the Raff and Shiv or the race. Fuck them. We don't care. Whole different thing. The scabs, they are a plague. They're parasites. They are the only gang that seems to all the time have a business model of we kidnap people and then cut out their cyberware to sell it on the black market. There are other gangs that do it. The Tiger Claws do it, but it's not like an exclusive thing that they do. It's not one of their big money things. Bad Tiger Claw gang members do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? All the scabs do that kind of stuff. You get what I'm saying? They're scum. They just prey on people. They don't fucking care. And to say this about all the gangs kind of prey on people in one way or another. But the scabs will prey on homeless people just because, fuck it, it's easier. You know what I mean? They're just scum. They're terrible fucking people. And coincidentally enough, they're the same group that kidnapped Sandra Dorsett. Right? So, guy sells Evelyn to the scabs. Now, Sandra Dorsett, you run into her later in the game. She calls you to ask you to recover something that the scabs stole from her while they had her. Would you please bring it back to me? Now, to say that this girl, Sandra Dorsett that is, has been mentally scarred from the trauma of the events would be putting it very, very poetically. She's way fucked up. Way paranoid. When you go to deliver the thing to her, it's reminiscent of the 20 locks unlocking before the door opens. You know what I mean? She's way paranoid, way freaked out, way fucked up. Right? This whole scab thing didn't sit well with her. There's other reasons as people play the game more and more and find out more and more things about it and stuff like that and see things and shit like that. We're beginning to find out that she had other reasons to be paranoid, but the scabs really fucked her up badly. Now, this guy sold a broken toy to the scabs, and they used her like a broken toy. You don't really know what exactly they did to her, but it isn't good. It wasn't nice. Essentially, they put her in a catatonic state. Right? The next time you see her when she's beaten, bruised, and bloody, she's also catatonic. Quite literally, she has just withdrawn into herself. The next time you see her, she isn't actually dead. She's curled up in fetal position in Judy's bed. She's not responding to anything, really. She responds to you when you touch her. She responds in shaking violently. To say that Evelyn is still the same confident, cool, stylish person, no. She is a broken toy. The game does an amazing job of making you feel the pain of that. And that's the reason why I never betray Evelyn, because I have a soft spot for Evelyn. She gets it pretty fucking rough. No need for me to compound her problems and add to her shit. So, and the next time after that, when you see her and she's dead because she committed suicide. Because of all the fucking shit she went through. Judy left her alone for a while to go to the store, thinking maybe some alone time, maybe some whatever autonomy might kind of make her feel more safe, whatever, make her come around. And she went in the bathroom and slit her wrists. It's an extraordinarily sad story. And it hurts to go through. And for this cunt to make it out like it's some sort of misogynistic fucking thing that CD Projekt Red just did to this character because she was a woman? Yeah. Then there's the posters. Much like the mutilated women, they're scattered all around the world as a constant reminder of who Night City belongs to and who it doesn't. We see women shooting themselves in the head while masturbating, snakes slithering towards a woman's naked buttocks, dogs licking beer up to blah, 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 blah. Now, I mean, it's just... It fucking just... It goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Look. Cyberpunk 2070... Or 2018... The Cyberpunk universe is an extremely hypersexualized universe. And it goes all directions. I notice how she doesn't talk about the most popular show on TV in Night City, Watson's Whore. It's literally the name of it, Watson's Whore. Who happens to be a dude who's a whore. And it's all about a dude being a whore. Not a girl, a dude. Right? And the poster for it is him bent over wearing a little Speedo with his balls poking out, puking into a really, really nasty toilet in a really, really nasty stall. Hardly glorifying him as a man. Oh, there's also the beer ad where it's a giant fat dude chugging a beer while he's sitting on a toilet, and underneath it says, "Be your best self." There's also the very hypersexualized commercial for men's cologne or whatever it is, Smell Like a Man, and it's all like dudes, it's panning down their naked six-pack body, and they're like stroking fucking sledgehammers and shit like that, like it's very sexually suggestive, and it's men. You want equity? You've got it! Quit ignoring it! It's all around you. It's plastered all over Night City. Like all of these fucking hypersexualized women you're seeing everywhere. There also happens to be hypersexualized men everywhere. Because it's a hypersexualized world. Alright. My battery died. Just as I was about ready to deliver my last line. You want to know what the problem is with women in gaming? It isn't that they play. It's that they play to be upset. Like, this bitch did not play Cyberpunk to be entertained. She hoped to be entertained. And then she saw all of these things that drew her attention away from all of the equality that she had been hoping for, and she focused on that shit, and now she's pissed. And now this game, she needs to write this thing essentially fucking lying about most of the stuff, or at the very least burying the fucking lead, right? You want to talk about shitty missions, gendered shitty missions? What about the one where you come across a guy who's bent over and screaming in pain, and he begs you to drive him to a ripper dock because his cock is malfunctioning? And he describes it as, "It feels like I'm fucking a pencil sharpener." So you want to go back and forth about fucked up gendered shit in Cyberpunk 2077? You're going to have to play more of the game before you can stand toe to toe with me, dummy.